remember this guy from back in the M3 suspension. We're back at Dynasty Auto. It's Bill. So what we're gonna do today is front sway bar, spoon rigid collar, and then we're gonna do these Origin Fab offset or control arm offset spacers. And so these aren't as necessary from what I understand on an AP2. You know, an AP1, the subframe tends to misalign often, but they're 200 bucks and supposedly they make a significant difference. And so the other issue we're having is I relocated the fender or the bumper tabs, and now I'm rubbing even more. I don't understand how that's possible. But I still have the OEM 25mm spacers. And so the new wheels are actually going to be slightly less correct. They'll be wider, so it'll sit in more.
Right.
So if we fit these and we get the rubbing with this, then those should, in theory, fit. The front, I think, is as good. So the height is what I like. I like the height. You know, to get the alignment dialed, and then corner weighting down. And then I'll probably have to come back when I get the new wheels and do it all over again. But yeah, just double check it, right? So that's the plan. So I hadn't actually seen the underneath of the car since LHT finished the job, but man, exhaust looks so good. I just wish it didn't drone. There's no white line brace, Cusco subframe brace. So what we're gonna do today is get that front sway bar out. We don't have adjustable sway bar end links. I don't think anybody makes them for this car. Or if there's one company, but they're really obscure and they didn't have any. So I have the front roll center adjusters. I have the aftermarket, so these are aftermarket sway bar end links, but we won't have any adjustment on them. Okay. So we should be able to corner balance what with a preload height adjustment, right?
Yeah.
This thing's clean, man. All right, so to get to the sway bar, I didn't plan this out ahead of time. When we get to the subframe, we got to take a lot of these bolts off. So we're probably going to remove some of the bars, and we may move it over to a 2-post lift. We'll kind of see how it goes. Well, so I'm going to be doing Volk 17x9.5 plus 50. Okay. Right? These are, I don't know what they are, but I got 15mm spacers on what a plus 50 or plus. These are plus 55 or something like that, but these are 7-inch wide. So I'm going to be doing 255s in the front. Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I need. I know I need about 2.4 to 2.5 degrees in camber in the front to fit those big old 255s in the front.
Well, you're maximally in your positive, right? You want maximum in, right?
Yeah, maximum in.
Right, so we want to step the front in, right?
Yeah. And if it's too much, stuff is rubbing on the inside. If it's rubbing after you get your other wheels on the inside, then you're going to have to keep it down. You know, it's too far.
Do you know where it's at right now?
It's like freaking positive. It's like 0.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, while it's here.
Yeah, we set up on the machine, get a baseline right now, so we can figure out what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the flushness is going to be very similar. I'll just have more tire inside.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because I'm going to do cup 2s, 255, 40, 17.
And 55 offset, and then
it'll be a plus 50 offset, no spacer. 17x9.5.
Okay. What side you go to the rear?
Same.
Oh, you go
square. Yeah. Yeah, because I want brakes. So I got Stop Tech trophies I'm doing. I wanted endless, but I don't want to wait for them, and they're like 2.5 times the cost. So
even the trophy is pretty expensive, right?
They're like 2,600, but the endless are $5 grand. Yeah. They're just pretty.
How you like the CR?
I love it.
Yeah.
This is my third S2000.
Oh, okay.
I had an AP2 back in the day, and an 02. Yeah. And then I had an AP2 or an AP1 back in the day, and then I had an AP2, and from 07 to 11. And then this is just me reliving my dreams. But there's that Craftwork, the 405 wheel horsepower. It's a monster.
Yeah. Is that what it's saying down now? Supercharged or turbo?
Supercharged, yeah. All right, so we're gonna roll it forward onto the alignment rack, so we can get a baseline, and then we can work from there to figure out what we're gonna need to do with the Origin Fab. So it'd be so much easier if we had the wheels now. But the issue with Volks is that it could be 4 months before they get here. They're due in the end of August early September, but who knows? So we got to check the.
At this point, I just like them to be even.
Yeah. So. You check the tire pressures, make sure they're even, so you don't have some funky.
You want to bring down 32?
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty cold. Shoot, that'd make it. That's part of the reason why the handling blows right now. The other reason is that we have freaking zero camber. Yeah. And the rear was 3.1, but I suspect it's not 3.1 now, because again, it was a darn near inch lower.
I don't like. I mean, just by me looking at it, it looks like it's got pretty substantial toe in right now.
Yeah.
And that's gonna.
Well, since I've been jerking around with the suspension, I've got it all jacked up. After we did those awesome adjustable toe arms on the M3, I wanted them so badly, I just couldn't get them. Nowhere has them. So bring the pressures down to 32 and then stick it on the rack. Another thing that's important to me, not so much of the factory wheels, but like on my M3, you don't want this touching your wheel. You know, a lot of places have where they clamp the, you know, the rim, or they clamp on the rim rather than on the tire. So that creates all kinds of scratches and dents, and so these, notice, it attaches to the tire and then flushes up to the wheel. So you get much cleaner setup. You know, a lot of older, cheaper alignment racks will pinch right here, jack up your wheels.
Touchless mounter.
Oh, nice. So now I can bring I can bring it here.
And now full-blown load force.
Yeah, that's great. I'm excited. I want one of these for my garage when I build it. I wouldn't know how to use it, but I'd like looking at it. All right, cool. So then when I get the wheels, we can just do it all here and then make sure it fits.
Yep.
Because that's the last thing I want to do. I mean, these are expensive wheels. Is get them and then put them on and jack them up, you know, or jack up the fender.
Yeah, no, we're doing so because of you. We had to get this because we've got so many high-end BMWs coming in now. People want.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people on the video saying, why does everybody go to Dynasty? I said, well, because they're the best. Last time we went so deep on the M3, we forgot about the wheel, so let's not do that this time. I had you so distracted on video. Remember we forgot to align the steering wheel at the end. My darn M3.
We had to come back again anyway because we had to tweak the alignment because it wasn't quite.
Yeah.
But then the second setup you were happy with.
Yeah. Oh, so that pulls from the VIN?
Gives me the vehicle automatically.
Gotcha.
Then I don't have. I mean, I can do it manually.
Right. So here's stock cameras -0.5.
This is
and -1 and 1.5. We're gonna be -2.75 and -2.5. So it's gonna be a little bit different. So now it pulls. You can see the sensors go. Pull the information off of it. If you haven't watched the M3 alignment video, these when we start to adjust camber, you pull the pins out so that the wheels can float freely on the lift. You know what I'm saying? So the pins are out, so now when we start to adjust camber, when we come out, it doesn't bind the suspension, it moves freely. Turns the wheel. So we get a reading. Lock to lock. Yeah, we do have some camber.
What's the mileage roughly?
12.5.
And the steering wheel was off. That's tough right now.
So there's our caster's way off.
There's the front.
So caster, I think we want OEM caster.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
And then
there is the rear. Yeah, 3.7 on the right, 2.1 on the rear.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
2.1. So that would explain why the left is rubbing a lot more than the right.
Essentially, what do you want in the rear? 2.5?
No, I think like 2.8. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely, that would definitely.
Oh yeah, that's whacked. So after I get all the suspension figured out, we'll decide if I want to deal with the drone. I'm gonna get the stereo put in next week, so, but man, John and LHT really dialed in this exhaust. I mean, that thing is perfect. It's just such a shame that it drones so badly because it looks so fantastic. The whole thing all the way back. Look at that. And the fit, I was just over here looking at all the, you know, all the connection points and how it's set up. It looks fantastic. So step one is to get my Cusco brace out, and then we'll take the white line brace out, and then we'll start making some room for to do our rigid collars, and then get our sway bar out. Jeez. Is that where the rigid collar goes, on that bolt?
Yep. Well, that's switched. There's 6 of them, but yes, up inside here. That's why this has to come on. The rigid collar goes up inside there, inside there. That's the 2 back ones.
So then, how do we actually align the subframe? Or does the rigid collar make sure we don't need to align it?
Exactly. Because you'll see when it's in there, but that's exactly what it does. It permanently mounts it so that it cannot shift.
Gotcha.
Right now there is a play in there to shift the subframe.
Right.
The outside buildup.
So how do we get the subframe aligned then? Or
you don't need
it won't.
The
it'll
subframe will be perfect to the body, and then once you do the alignment, then the subframe won't shift and throw your alignment out of whack.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the idea.
Cool. Yeah, because it's not as big of a problem on AP2s, but my AP1 shook like crazy, and that's part of the reason why. Forgot, we got to be ready for people to tell you you're taking that off wrong.
Oh, I know.
Remember? You should be using a torque wrench to remove those bolts. Yeah. Specially designed.
Yeah, look up those internet mechanics. Have to take that off.
But you can probably take it off to get the sway bar out, no?
No, the sway bar's in front of it. That's why I'm going to take the plastic off right now and then see what we're up against there.
Oh, yeah, good point. I almost bought the Cusco just so that it matched, but since the white line doesn't match anyway, we're going to have all kinds of color underneath the car. Move some plastics to see what we're working with the... I always say we. By we, I mean Bill. Cameraman has a place too in this world. I can't tell you how excited I am that I can just bring my wheels here now.
That what?
That I can just bring my wheels here now. So excited.
You're stressing over that, huh?
Yeah, because I got to go pay people off and tell them, look, you don't understand, you know, and do the whole dance, and they look at me like I'm nuts, because I am nuts. Yeah, so here's our sway bar.
Sway bar's right there. It should pop right straight down.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty
and then
straightforward.
Our sway bar, front mounts are right up in here. So I think.
Sweet, we can get it right on this lift.
Yeah, I believe so. The only thing I don't like is I want to try to. I don't know if these arms are going to go far enough to. Well, actually, I can go from here.
Yeah, I mean that's the frame right there. Yeah.
That's good.
So, jack the car up by the subframe. So here's our replacement urethane brackets. There's the sway bar. So the factory, I think it's 26 or 8 millimeters, and so we're going up to 32, 28 to 32 or something like that. I'm making that up. There's no difference. Eibach versus the OEM. So we've got this.
Yep.
I don't need that anymore,
Nope.
so it'll sit right on the edge. A little bit of lube to get it on there, make sure it doesn't squeak, right?
Yeah, it's not to get it on there. It'll go on there really easy.
Oh.
It's all about the noise.
Yeah, I don't like squeaks.
Yep.
How many sway bars you put on in your life? Couple?
Yeah, a few.
Bill has pretty significant ties to a lot of the national champion autocrossers.
And road racers.
Yeah, so those guys are always messing with this crap. Essentially what we have are 2 bolts here, here and here, and then the sway bar end links will come up and connect here, and we'll have with 2 positions. You get to choose then. Looks pretty in red. I like that. Pretty colors. Means I'm going to drive a lot faster on the highway on the way home. All the straight line driving I'm doing in Florida. We need to consult the Oracle.
Okay.
I'm gonna call you
Yeah.
because they
Here's our 2 settings, right? So we have softer, firmer.
Uh-huh.
Now remember, I'm a poser, right? There isn't going to be any racing or any real driving here. This is just about looking good, you know, and driving like maybe 15 miles an hour over the speed limit on a back road occasionally. But I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. So if we're doing a softer setting, we'll obviously reduce understeer, right? Because we'll have less body roll.
Yeah.
Why would it reduce oversteer if we go stiffer in the front?
Well, naturally, the S2000 is kind of twitchy.
Right. So the idea here is we're putting a bigger front sway bar on, leave the softer rear sway bar in, so we reduce oversteer.
Oversteer, correct. Yeah. So
Right.
by putting it in a stiffer setting, you reduce that even more. But I would recommend go with the stiffer setting to try it out first,
Okay.
just because the characteristic of the chassis.
Right. Well, why is it saying that firmer? Is that a typo?
No,
Like,
former reduce oversteer, which is correct. Reduce oversteer of the whole car.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because like with the thicker bar, now you're putting it in the thickest setting,
Mm-hmm.
so the car doesn't want to rotate as much.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, because we'll have a stiffer front the front end will be stiffer.
Yeah, compared to the rear now.
Right. So the rear will roll a little more, which means we would in turn, retain more grip in the rear. Okay, that makes sense. Well, it's a good thing we asked you because we would have been doing it wrong. Before we torque down the sway bar, Bill's gonna do the subframe stuff. Because what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the